Hello Internet, I am LegenGary, and you want to know what I like? Armor. You want to know what else I like? Video games! So naturally I would like armor in video games. But it's kind of really interesting about this on the internet. There's always videos about how to get a specific set of armor or which armor is better than another one in a video game. But very rarely do I ever see one about people's personal favorite armors. So I thought I would make a top 5 list of my personal favorite armors to sort of fill the void. So here's the video. Let's do it.
So what a great intro. I love it.
The first armor on my list comes from a little game known as Destiny: The Taken King. You've probably heard about it before. Somehow, somewhere, from someone. For the most part, Destiny has a varied amount of armor, which thanks to the RNG loot system makes it hard to get a whole set. However, there is one way to get at least one complete armor set, and that would be by doing the raid. The specific set of armor that I like comes from the King's Fall raid that was introduced in Year 2. It's called the Newman set. At least that's what I call it anyway. The Newman set is the raid set for those who are of the Titan class. In order to get my set, I had to do a lot of raids because even though you are guaranteed to get this armor eventually, chances are that you are going to keep getting armor pieces that you already have, which happened to me more times than I would like to admit. Now, I know you are all probably wondering, why is this one of my favorite armors? Well, I mean, come on. Just look at it. It's awesome. And it makes me look like a shark. And if there's one thing we all know, it's that sharks are cool. Okay, well, not all the time, obviously, but you get the point. Oh, and also, this armor has some good perks that make it useful during the raid. So, yeah, that's a thing. To me, the Newman set feels like an award, something that I have earned and fought hard in order to get. So, is this choice a little biased? Well, yeah. I mean, technically this whole video is biased because it's all my opinion, so... there. Deal with it, bro. From one shooter to another, the next armor on my list is the Spartan armor from the Halo series. Now, I'm going to admit, I'm not really the biggest fan of Halo as a series, but I do enjoy the story, the lore, the unique gameplay, and of course the cool as heck Spartan armor. One look at this thing and only one word crosses my mind: awesomeness. Not only that, but in later installments the design becomes a little more varied. For example, in Halo Reach you can see that each armor kind of represents the different characters and their personalities. Jorg, being this big hulking tank who acts like the guardian of the people, has armor that represents that characteristic of him. Then you have someone like Emil, who is more of a ready-to-strike soldier who doesn't fear the consequences of battle, as shown by both his actions and his armor. Not to mention that Reach also allowed you to customize your own armor and fit it with different attachments and pieces that you could buy. And you could also change the color of it, so now the Spartan armor can come in many assorted flavors. My favorite is root beer brown. It's a good taste. Not only does this armor look cool, but it also has some pretty good abilities as well. It has an overshield to protect the wearer from minor projectiles, and has the ability to switch out different power-ups at will to give you an extra boost in battle. Not to mention that this armor is pretty durable. I mean, Master Chief was wearing this armor and it protected him from entering the atmosphere and landing like a meteorite. And he wasn't even using a parachute. In fact, it protected Chief so well that after he woke up from the impact, he got up and started fighting Covenant like nothing even happened. Now, if that's not a good set of armor, I don't know what is. As far as armor sets go, the Legend of Zelda series isn't really the best at, well, having them. At most, you can equip Link with multiple different types of tunics and masks that can make specific places much easier to explore. But then Twilight Princess came along and changed everything. Okay, well, it didn't really change everything. I mean, you still use tunics, and there's only really 1 or 2 pieces of armor, so... yeah, anyway, the point is that in Twilight Princess you can equip Link with armor, specifically the Zora Armor. Now first you may be wondering, what does the Zora Armor do different than, say, the blue tunic from Ocarina of Time? Well, like the blue tunic, it allows Link to breathe underwater, but it also allows you to swim under the water.
Oh my god!
I know, it's amazing, right? No longer do you have to walk around on the bottom of some lake bed with iron boots all day. Now you can freely explore the lakes and rivers to your heart's content. And it's all thanks to the inclusion of duck feet. Now, I hear you argue, LegenGary, you say that the Zora Armor is so amazing and helps out with the water places. But wouldn't you say that the red tunic is a much better contender for this spot, since it allows you to survive the internal temperature of an active volcano, and even allows you to walk on lava? Wouldn't that technically make the red tunic better than the Zora Armor?
Objection!
For you see, there is one thing you, dear viewer, are forgetting. One very, very important detail. It is the one thing that makes the Zora Armor rise above the red tunic anytime, anywhere. And that is, the Zora Armor makes you look like a ninja. Need I say more? Shovel Knight. Do you want to know what the strange thing about Shovel Knight is? There's not a whole lot of armor in it. It's funny because, well, the game is called Shovel Knight. You know, as in knight in shining armor? Despite that, however, there's a few things that you can do to the armor via cheats. For instance, you can change the color of your armor. There are many different color palettes that you can use, including some that reference other games. Look, you can be Vile from Mega Man X, Link, Simon Belmont, and, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. You can also change the size of your armor. Look at me, everyone! I'm Giant Shovel Knight, and I am going to save all the things! Let's go! Oh, I don't think I like, this might be a problem. While these cheats are all fine and dandy, I personally do like the armors that are in the game. To get these armors, you first have to beat both Key Knight and Spectre Knight so that you can unlock the second town. Go up this here ladder and you'll see the blacksmith, and it's here where you can buy armors with the money that you've gotten on your adventures. What I find cool about these armors is that they all change up the gameplay in some way or another. Some are pretty useful, but others, well, not so much. The one I enjoy the most has to be the Dynamo Mail. It's got a nice silver color and it's not too pricey, which is good because, well, my money usually is not good. However, the best part about this armor is the extra charge attack. After bouncing on an enemy with your shovel 2 times, it grants you a free charge attack, which at first may not sound all that spectacular. But trust me, when you're fighting a boss and you're low on health, that last attack feels like a gift from above. So, it's good. Yeah. On to the next one.
Thanks, Gary. With my pick, I went with style over substance.
The Bouncer Big Daddy suit from Bioshock stands out to me as a very unique set of armor. The armor was obviously modeled after a 1930s scuba diving suit, which gives it that very weird and horrific look. The placement of the helmet makes you question where its head is located at. You do actually learn that within the suit is a genetically mutated human that has been grafted inside the suit itself. Even though the Big Daddy does not attack unless provoked, walking past it makes you feel very uneasy with that humongous drill and unsettling moan. Using the Big Daddy as a mascot of sorts for the Bioshock franchise was a very smart idea, as the suit is grotesque but not off-putting. The look is very striking and it makes you wonder what is this game. You do get to wear the Big Daddy suit at the very end of the first Bioshock, and you actually get to play as a Big Daddy in Bioshock 2, but besides that, the armor is not really special as far as what it does, but the suit itself is something really special.
Back to you, Gary.
Oh, you knew this one had to be on the list. I mean, come on, how do you make a list about video game armor and not include the Varia suit on the list? That's like having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the bread. It's not good. It's not good. This is by far one of the best and most iconic armors in video games. Forged by the ancient alien race known as the Chozo, this armor has a ton of awesome features. This armor has multiple overshield-like things, it can survive in water, it has missiles, lots and lots of missiles. It's got a grapple swing, it looks absolutely awesome, it can morph, it has an assortment of beams, and it even has the ability to withstand the high temperature of lava. Haha, take that, Red Tunic! The most important feature of all, however, is, well, how old it is. Out of all the armors on this list, this is the only one that has consistently represented a beloved franchise for almost 30 years. Yes, that's right, 30. I personally do not know how many other armors can ever say that about themselves. In that time, many franchises have come and gone, and yet, despite the series' hiatus, Metroid is still as strong as it has ever been in the hearts and minds of fans around the globe. And with their beloved memories and their replaythroughs of many of the classic games, the armor is still there, iconic, standing as a symbol to an entire fan base and franchise. It's kind of like Mario's hat or Sonic's shoes. It's one of the first things that comes to your head when you think Metroid. Not to say that the other armor doesn't do that as well, but the fact that this armor has essentially not changed and has continued to live on through 5 generations of consoles is something that I find very impressive.